Hey everybody, it's a sabotage. Celebrities just can't stop slamming their movies before studios can get them to cinemas. Today we'll tell you how much Millie Alcock of Supergirl fame and the lady playing Teela in Masters of the Universe have just cost. It's a depressing, dire drop in projections at a time that Hollywood simply can't afford to lose this badly. It's a great day. It's a groovy day. Folks, thank you for coming our way and welcome back to the Pro Channel where we see you, we appreciate you, and we're happy that you're here. Click the like button and gather near. We're going to talk about Millie Alcock making fun of Christian dads and the girl who plays Teela so sadly saying she's glad to be doing a Ray impression in Masters of the Universe. It's a sabotage. Female celebrities are destroying the movies they're supposed to be promoting one at a time, and they're sliming the summer box office in 2026. Let's talk about it from Geeks and Gamers, Marvin Montenaro. Teela actress claims her performance was inspired by Ray from Star Wars as Masters of the Universe flops at the box office. Marv, you're the author of this article. I want people to go read it, but this is not the first time this actress has really damaged, maybe, Montu, as they call it, which is dropping at the box office. She went in for the kill, Marv, and she's ready to take it out in the second weekend. What in the world is going on?
They were like, this movie is bombing really bad. It made $54 million worldwide on a $200 million budget before marketing. What can we possibly do to let people know that this movie is for them? How do we reach men? How do we appeal to the people out there that, you know, we really, our target audience, to bring them in? She's like, I know. Hold on. Guys, my character is based on Ray.
And this is after, I mean, she has to know. Everybody in Hollywood knows what's going on with Star Wars right now. So why, after the first weekend, would you do this? I mean, why? The
marketing on this film has been the single biggest issue against this movie, because the movie is actually pretty fun. It has its problems, but it's in no way, you know, there have been far more offensive things this year than this movie. And no one went to see it, and I strongly think it's because of all the toxic masculinity talk, because of stuff like this. I mean, every time the cast and crew of this movie opens their mouths, they push people out of the theater.
It happens time and time again. And what if I told you that this is not the beginning of what we've been watching? This is a continuation. This is an entire trend, whether it's the lady that we were just showing you, or this story, Fox News talking about the Supergirl actress, Millie Alcock, mocking critics even before the movie comes out, says a lot of them are, quote unquote, Christian dads. Well, that's a way to make sure people go see Supergirl. And there's the backlash to that, of course. So you've got people now not liking her. USA News says actress Millie Alcock is facing backlash after brushing off online critics as Christian dads ahead of DC's upcoming Supergirl release. Look in her eyes. What do you notice? And so you got people now scrutinizing Millie Alcock and whether or not she is on something, right? So that's
is that what they're insinuating with the eyes? Like, is she like?
I don't think they're trying to say she's like demonic. I think they're trying to say that she may have substance stuff going on. But whatever is going on, this is not helpful to these studios with these ladies making such major faux pas. It's like they're back 4 years ago doing that same strategy and they haven't learned yet. Carol, what do you think about the idea that we're making, you know, hey, I'm doing a Ray impression. Hey, this is about toxic masculinity. Hey, Christian dads, don't come see my movie. Like, are they determined to sabotage the studios at this point?
I think it's one part they're told to say things in order to get other gigs later. And then I think another part is that there seems to be a lack of awareness of the general demographic that's in America. So when you're talking about like all these people that don't like me are Christian dads, I hate to inform you, but the strong religious demographic in the U.S. is still Christianity.
Yeah, and I thought you needed Christian dads to go see Supergirl to do well at the box office. I would have thought that was the case.
Yeah, and, you know, if you take into account the origins of Superman and Supergirl, you know, it's kind of ironic a little bit.
Yep, I'm with you. What is Superman is kind of an allegory or is retelling in some ways of Moses, people have said.
Yeah, made by two Jewish guys that wanted to do a depiction of, I don't want to dive too much into it, but yes. Yeah, but no, so it's wild. And sometimes I just also think it's just another smoke screen, right? Because then they can say it's like, oh, well, because they ran their mouths, the movie did bad. Didn't have anything to do with the poor writing that was involved. Had nothing to do with the fact that nobody was interested in seeing it all. We're just going to blame the women. And aren't they so sad? You know, maybe one day they'll get their stuff together and, you know, not do this anymore. That's what it always strikes me as.
Yeah, and we've seen this playbook so many times now that it's actually stale. Culture, they're trying to be Rachel Zegler again. And that's bizarre to me because Zegler doesn't have a career anymore.
Well, yeah,
Zegler shows up dressed like a crazy woman at conventions and galas to try to find headlines because she can't.
She's a snake.
So why would they be following the Zegler strategy, Culture? It's a career ender.
Well, I think Zegler is the cautionary tale. I mean, there have been several of them. She's not the first. I've noticed that her face shape seems to have changed substantially in the last few months. I'm not sure what's going on there, but look, I mean, maybe she ran out of her subscription of Wegovy or whatever. But what I do know is that her commentary about this film has done it no favors. And, you know, even though they're pushing specifically for Supergirl, they're pushing forward this message that it's going to be profitable or break even at $425 million. Anybody who's ever done any kind of box office coverage knows that's fabrication in a way that's...
It has a higher production budget than The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah,
just crazy.
I mean, we can't pretend that this needs, you know, somewhere in the neighborhood of 600 million to sniff breaking even. But again, the industry is pushing a lie. And look, Hollywood accounting has always been a lie. Sorry, if you ever worked in that business, you know that they bury everything under layers of production nameplates and everything else, and they can charge the studio whatever they want for whatever services they supposedly delivered. So it's a way to launder the money, but and that's why people don't get paid out on their royalties or their net deals. By the way, don't ever make a net deal unless it's a net gross.
How much did it cost? How much did it cost Masters of the Universe? The toxic masculinity marketing messaging before the movie, like, is that $100 million hit on that movie that they did that?
I think it's more of it's maybe a larger gaffe than that. They should have leaned into the direction that the filmmaker was with the kind of Flash Gordon kind of approach to He-Man, because that's really what we got. We got a really great soundtrack. We got a lot of really interesting and detailed visuals. We got a lot out of the film. Maybe we didn't get everything everybody else wanted. There are people who disagree with me quite vocally on this being, a C movie. This is, I mean, it's a passing grade, but that's it at best. It's not anything substantial. It's not super. It's not extraordinary. It's better than many of the things we've gotten this year. But,
I know one person on this panel that disagrees with you.
The
person on that Park Place who gave it a 1 out of 10, who's right below me right now.
Yeah, well, it's okay. And again, we can all disagree.
Like it, whatever.
Yeah,
1 out of 10.
And I'm just going to tell you that this actress didn't help this film at all. And yeah, $100 million. No, I think it was more. I think the marketing and the people involved, and this is a problem. I mean, this is the same reason why talk shows don't work, Pro. This is why we talk about late night TV. It doesn't work anymore. They don't bring these actors and actresses in to share a clip and a fun anecdote. Yep. They come in and they spew political garbage at everybody. And audiences are done with lectures. And I think Gateway Pundit had an article about PR issues. All this is PR, bad PR across the board for movies, films, musicians, etc.
So, Stephen, what I don't understand is why these studios still have yet to give these ladies a social media handler, and the guys too. But Stephen, when we're talking about movies that are losing them hundreds of millions of dollars, this is unaffordable to let them spout off in ways that maybe they don't understand is destroying the market. It's wiping out the industry. So surely the studios are going to, at some point, learn they can't have more Zeglers. They can't have more bombs like this. You got to have somebody, a PR specialist. That's what they finally did with Snow White with Zegler at the very, very end, is they brought somebody in to protect themselves from her. They need to start doing this with many of these actresses. What do you think, Stephen?
I think they need to go to courses for actors and actresses on self-awareness and the year and the current events that are going on before they even go on social media to promote their films. what Culture was referencing too, we haven't seen anything like that probably till the years of Craig Ferguson. That's when late night actually died. There's been nothing that type of promotion where, hey, here's our comedy segment, here's our actress or actor segment, this is what they're going to share with us, here's their book, this is what they have going on, and then you go into something else. That whole informational structure of how to deliver movies is also part of the PR nightmare that they're not getting. So now it's not happening late night, it's being pushed to the actors and actresses, and they're being pushed by their ideologies and not the common sense of, well, the general audience should probably want to hear something a little better than you're all racist. But we're going to go down.
I saw Carol disagreeing though. Maybe Carol, were you what? Not with you, with me, Carol. What were your thoughts on social media handlers and publicists to save these women and save these films?
I just think it's done on purpose. I really do. Because I mean, it's all commentary is marketing, right? Like, look at the Odyssey movie that's coming out, and all the stuff and all the conversations that are happening around that. When I actually went to go see Masters of the Universe, none of that was in that trailer. Like, I'm not sure if it's a bait and switch or whatever, but they made the trailer for the Odyssey film look like it's actually like traditional and it's following the hallmarks and all of that. Where everything that's happening online is rage bait, and it's getting us to talk about a film that we would probably never actually talk about. So I don't know if a handler is going to fix anything, because at the end of the day, what they want us to do is they want us to talk about films. So then we'll have the ending mark of like, well, I think I should go and watch it myself and make my own decision.
So you're making the attention economy argument.
Yes.
Is what I'm gathering. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the problem. That playbook, and I think we can all agree, hasn't led to positive outcomes for films. I mean, or even shows that have tried to use that tactic. Disney is the primary example.
Right. All news is not good news anymore, is what Culture is suggesting.
Yeah. I think that the conversation around things used to be influential. The controversy used to sell things. That doesn't work anymore. Yeah. The people have limited funds to spend on their entertainment. So the reason I ask is because I'm starting to believe that, for example, with Supergirl, and you can follow this over on Quorum, which I shared in the background yesterday, the awareness versus interest model that they use when they survey moviegoers, it's showing that while awareness has climbed for Supergirl and other films like Motu ahead of their release, the interest didn't increase. They can be aware of it all day, but maybe you're watching the interest numbers fall, which interest indicates whether or not people actually go see the film.
Did he just mute himself?
No, I think it mutes me automatically if I have too high of a dB. But anyway, if they also have a new thing called a fee versus free, like a metric whether or not people will be willing to pay for it, whether it be on streaming or in the theaters. So there's two additional metrics that they've added to this field of things that they survey for when they're surveying the audience. So I just look at it. I'm saying attention does not equal success. And that's a new factor they haven't factored in since these playbooks started to show their weakness.
Let me show this real quick to folks. And Culture, see, I think this is new data that you've not yet seen. Out of the numbers, Mandalorian Grogu is under 300 million still for the worldwide.
Goodness.
And it's just going to struggle like crazy to get close to 350. I think 330-ish is where this is going to wipe out at. And of course, it needs $600 million to break even. So it's made half of its break even, essentially, which is just awful, terrible. So what should we expect out of Supergirl?
Lower. But I need to correct your argument there. Okay. Merchandise is going to save Mandalorian.
Get out of here, you. All right.
Anyway.
What are you?
No, but honestly, no. I think this has the same. I think this has the same performance curve, which I think, whether it be Supergirl, Motu, whatever. I think we're going to see that the performance curve, the people who genuinely have interest, they front load all these things. That's the biggest problem with the Marvel model, right? You front loaded so much, and because it wasn't good, you didn't get repeat viewership. None of that happens anymore. I don't know if you guys have observed that, but I mean, there aren't people like absent Amazon's big hit this year, which was Project Hail Mary. Absent that, how many people went back? People are going back to see Michael, something that was done authentically. People are going, to see Project Hail Mary multiple times. People went and saw Super Mario Galaxy multiple times, even though that has some woke elements in it that I won't argue against. But nobody's going to go back and see Motu. Nobody's going to go back and see Mando and Grey Goose.
I saw Motu 3 times already.
I haven't been to the theater, but I have seen it a bunch of times. And I've seen Scary Movie twice.
Look,
and I've seen Backrooms twice.
I can defend myself on this one. I saw it once for work because I had to interview it. Jay did a viewing event on Friday, so I went to that. And then my wife wanted to see it over the weekend. So I didn't go back because I was like, I have to see this movie again. It just circumstances kept dragging me back into the theater. Your
obligations helped you set fire to 6 hours of your life.
Culture, I think that this actually boils down to a much larger problem. It's something that I did a video on my channel just yesterday about. Hollywood doesn't know how to speak to men. When they have these male-centric movies like A Masters of the Universe, which, by the way, should have been just called He-Man or He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. If they had done that, I think it would have sold a lot better, but they are ashamed and embarrassed by the name He-Man. But like things like The Mandalorian and Grogu, you're trying to market it to 12-year-old boys. Well, what 12-year-old boy today likes Star Wars? Because they've been told for their literal entire lives that Star Wars is not for them anymore. It's been marketed toward girls. There's that moment in Motu where Skeletor is like, let me show you how a real man uses power. And it just cuts to Evil Lynn rolling her eyes. The movie actually has some great moments where it speaks to masculinity. Like there's that great speech from Man at Arms, but they undercut it instantly, almost as if they're trying to apologize to the audience for having that.
There's like Man at Arms has that term for that.
Yeah. Man at Arms has that speech about how, a man steps up and when war breaks out, it's not the poets on the front lines. And it's a great speech. Immediately after they said that, Tila friend zones Adam and emasculates him. And then you had, the issue with, all the messaging surrounding this movie. It is constantly like, look, this has to kind of be masculine, but we're really sorry for it. Wink, wink. We don't want to actually do this. Oh, you want to call yourself He-Man? Okay, He-Man. I guarantee you in the sequel, they're not going to be like, okay, She-Ra.
They kind of abused the whole HR room scenarios too, and I think they were trying to use that as a metaphor for like try to handle your problems first before throwing fists, but it came across as such a delinquent way because most kids that are enjoying He-Man right now don't even have a job yet, so they don't deal with HR. You made a really bad metaphor there too, because like I still, you know what I mean? I'm like, I get what you're trying to do here, but most kids won't because they just want to see a giant sword, the battle cat go out and kick ass like the Star. Give us that battle.
I don't think that. I didn't have a problem with the whole like, well, let's talk it out, Skeletor, because that is a very Superman thing to do, right? It's like, well, I have all this power. I'm not afraid to use it, but I don't want to use it. And I'm going to give you an opportunity to surrender before fists start flying. But yes, they lean too hard into that whole thing. I get it. They don't know what men want to hear. They don't know how to talk to them anymore. They have forgotten how to speak to men from a marketing perspective. And that's why these movies fail.
If they did it right, Adam, hold the door open for Tila. Hey, there you go. Toxic masculinity. Pull out the chair for dinner. Little things. Let's throw those in there somewhere.
Carol, in deference to you, I want to, since you gave the film a 1 out of 10 when it comes to Motu, tell me what things separated this from an average score.
So I am of a particular mindset that I do not enjoy films where there is a disparity in treatment between male and female characters. It sets me off something pretty fierce, especially when we're in an age where Hollywood seems set on tearing down heroes that boys used to have, right?
Right.
And so if you go through and you watch the film and you take a shot every time a guy does something cool and then he immediately gets undercut right afterwards, you would be stinking drunk by the time you left that film. But it never happens with any of the female characters. There's also somebody who actually knows this better than I do. Who is the female with the 2 guns that shoves Adam into the lockers at some point? Who is she?
She was, I believe, invented for this.
She's invented? She's lame. She's extremely lame.
Like, I was out with, like, I even asked Jay, because Jay's a huge Masters of the Universe fan. I was like, hey, I don't remember that from the cartoon. He said, yeah, I think that she was invented for
and then they changed one male character into a female character. I get that Adam, when he's Adam, is supposed to be kind of dorky. It's like, Adam, get out of the way and let the real people do the work. Like, I understand that. But like it was just so bad. And the scenes took way too long, and it was all about debasing Adam at some point. And for somebody who's supposed to be really good at verbal negotiation, Adam can't do it at all.
Nope.
Like when his supervisor brought him into the office, and it's like, you're like really good at like what you do, and it's just everybody really likes it, but like I need you to get your obsession under control, right? And then we can talk about the fact that Adam spent like his entire time on Earth trying to remember people who forgot who he was. Like that's insulting. All right. So it really aggravated me. I wanted to just go and enjoy a campy film where a guy, kind of got to find out who he was, but instead we just watched a bunch of people who don't actually know how to talk to each other, write a script for a film, and be like, "Tee, aren't I funny?" And it's like, no, you're not. And I can't even recommend the movie to children due to all the sexual innuendos that are constantly made. And I don't even mean like kind of like the way that Disney do it. I mean like right out, like talking about and everything else.
So is the juvenile nature of the film the responsibility of Travis Knight, the writers, or both?
Well, there's like 6 writers on this thing because it was rewritten so many times. So
I can't blame one person. I blame all of them.
Yeah, it's all collective blame.
That's what an HR person would do.
So, so we're well, yeah, because then nobody can be held accountable. The lack of accountability is a very feminine thing, but I don't want to get into that. But what I do want to get into is the fact that Supergirl's going to suffer from the same stuff. I'm afraid it's leaning the same direction. I like I said, everything I'm reporting on it, and I'll be doing a video on Supergirl again tomorrow, is that it's tracking for doom, and it you know what, it deserves it.
So it's tracking higher than it was initially tracking, because it was originally tracking down at the Marvels level.
Right.
Now it's tracking at Thunderbolts level, and they're trying to throw a ticker tape parade for it. The movie costs more, it's about $10 million at least more than The Mandalorian, and it's going to open significantly below The Mandalorian. Mm-hmm. On the high end is significantly below. It is opening significantly behind Captain America Brave New World. It's going to be opening, if it's on the lower end of projections, it'll open under Black Adam. So there's a whole lot of issues with this.
So the break even, folks, the blue line is Supergirl, the red line is Mando.
Insane.
We're looking at this for searches because in the lead up to a movie releasing, people start searching for it because they want to get tickets. What we see is Supergirl is tracking directly with The Mandalorian. The problem is, Marv, that Supergirl needs far more to break even than even Mando. Mm-hmm. And when people like Millie Alcock come out and say these things, or when, the female actress who plays Tila in Motu comes out and does what she does, they're already going to lose money. Mm-hmm. It makes it worse. And that's the problem.
And now what you're seeing, Pro, is they are trying to lean into Superman in all of the advertising.
Oh, yeah, and the dog.
Superman is in the trailer. He's in all of the new commercials. They're probably taking what is logically 2 scenes worth of Superman.
Yep.
And of course, the clip they put out, she immediately insults him. Why is he wearing his underwear? Why can't we, which just drove me insane, because I can't stand when these properties make it clear that they're embarrassed to be writing this property. Like they have to poke fun at
what's the yellow spandex thing that you can't stand?
Yeah, it's from the X-Men. What'd you expect? Yellow spandex? Like it's that all the time. And it's like, oh yeah, your name is He-Man. Oh, who would want to be called Fisto? Oh, I was 10 years old.
And meanwhile, Marv, what happened when Hugh Jackman was in the original Wolverine outfit? What happened?
$1 billion.
There you go, folks. $1 billion. But these female celebrities, these young ladies out of Berkeley, have no idea what they're doing. What they're doing is screwing the studios that pay the bills. When you stick around for the entire video, it really does help the channel. And we're so appreciative of that, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine that you would stick around and hear everything we have to say. The studio is glistening because you're listening each and every day. If you're not yet subscribed, well, you should be. And click that like button. Until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.